Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2. I'm Anthony Frieda. Thanks for joining in. It's a weird time. We got this quarantine thing going on. I recorded this like months ago or whatever, but so I'm not going to be talking about the quarantine stuff. So, it's a little bit of a vacation from that, which is, you probably need that. Hope everybody is hope everybody's doing okay. Hanging in there. So this episode's about basically about conversation between musicians on stage, how important that is to be present in a conversation, both just talking and especially on stage, creating music together. The audience benefits from hearing that. So anyway, you're going to hear me blab about it. I make some good points. I start off very low energy, so, it sounds like I just got dumped. So just, go easy on me. I kind of talk about just some things that I do on the drum set to give myself extra sounds, and then I also kind of talk shit about what drummers do on gigs and stuff like that. Not playfully, not mean. A little bit mean, actually. Anyway, enjoy the episode. BaDumBizz. Welcome, episode 2 of BaDumBizz. I'm Anthony Frieda. They know that already, asshole. All right, so last time we kind of talked about a lot of stuff about the roles, pressures of being a drummer and a percussionist. I think I went over also the sort of a small, short little history of modern drumming. Right? Boring. No, but I just kind of talked about what I'm passionate about music and drums. So I think I wanted to get to sort of a topic of. I think I brought it up last time on the last episode, but anyway, either way, it's always in my head is about if you're an instrumentalist, especially, what when you're playing in a group, what is your expectation? So, and you can hear a lot of different opinions about this. My personal opinion is, and this is as a fan of music, of live music, and recorded music and stuff, is I want to hear a conversation between the instrumentalists, the musicians. I want to hear, I've been thinking a lot about comedians. I love comedy. I love stand-up comedy. I love the podcasts that are, done by comedians. They'll interview each other or whatever, have just a conversation, even not really an interview, and they'll roast each other. They'll bust each other's balls. It's hysterical. Some will do like skits. Even though it's only audio, it's hysterical. Now, it's an interesting thing that a lot of those stand-up comedians will gather and be funny together on a podcast, when each one of them, the expectation is they're going to go up on stage by themselves, tell jokes that they wrote, right, and try to get people to come to their shows, right? It's interesting how there's a camaraderie with other comedians. They hang out with other comedians. Those are mostly their friends. It's interesting to me because drummers are similar, actually. Drummers are very similar. My best friends are drummers. In college, my best friends were percussionists. Now, as a percussionist, you'll play together a lot more, but drummers, not really. You get hired for a gig. I'm on the gig. My other drummer friends are not on the gig. If they're on the gig, I'm not on the gig. That's kind of how that goes. If my one buddy who's a drummer is on the gig, I'm not on the gig. If I'm on the gig, he's not on the gig, or she's not on the gig. You know what I mean? So, but how are we best friends, right? It's interesting. So, I think there's something to do about the conversation of music making, and drummers have a certain expectation and like almost sort of a limitation and a role. I think it's a clear role in a band when you're making music. Now, in modern day, electronic music has very much taken over, inspired new ideas, but also, I say take over because you hear it a lot. If you go to top 10 pop songs right now, I would say at least 70% of all those songs feature electronic drums, like sampled drums, and there's nothing wrong with that. It sounds cool. But there's a role to play that even producers, right, who program these electronic drum beats know that role of those drums, because the central focus of a song is usually the melody and what the vocalist is singing, right? That could be lyrical content, the way that they're singing, the emotion involved in their voice, all that. What is the song about? If you think about the totem pole, the drums, while being very important, the drums are not more important than that vocalist, right, and what they're singing about. So that's why I think that drummers have a very high respect for one another. It's kind of like, I know what you have to do to get that gig that you're on, so respect. And I don't know, it's just, maybe it's a certain mentality too, It's interesting. So comedians and drummers have a very similar kind of relationship with one another. You know what I mean? So anyway, I even forgot. Oh, so conversation on stage among musicians, like me and a bass player, for instance. Me and a bass player I play with, Paul O'Keefe. He and I met years ago. For the first time that we met, we had to play together. We didn't even really, other than saying, "Hey, I'm Paul. Hey, I'm Anthony," didn't know anything about each other, and we were thrown into a situation where we had to play together. And playing with him is easy, so easy, because he understands my language, I understand his language. We speak the same rhythmic language, especially, and we sort of. He knows that I know my role in the part in the song, and I know, and I'm confident that he knows his role. And together, our parts and our roles work together to make that song vibe, really, to make that song feel good. So therefore, we have an extreme amount of respect for each other, and we're really good friends. And we bust each other's balls nonstop when we're together. But also, we compliment each other. I have tons of good things to say about him, but I love roasting him too, and he loves roasting me. So that's an example of, like, there's a blooming relationship there between the musicians on stage and off stage. But I do think that the work that you do and if you're open to conversing, having a conversation musically on stage with each other, that deepens the relationship, because it shows that you're present, right? Your passion comes through when you're present in music making. That's why I love improvised music a lot. I love jazz. I love the electro jazz thing going on with groups like Nowhere and Now Versus Now and Robert Glasper Trio or Robert Glasper Experiment is incredible. They just had an incredible run that I'm at the Blue Note. It was a month. What do they call that? Residency at the Blue Note in NYC. Chris Dave was playing drums, I think most of them. Derek Hodge on bass, Robert Glasper, but they had guests. I think one of the videos I saw online, it was so hot what was going on this residency. It was so hot what they were doing that Dave Chappelle would show up, Mos Def, Bilal. I saw a video where they were backstage after the show, just hanging out and having a drink. I think Sacha Baron Cohen, the comedian actor, was backstage. Bradley Cooper was back there. I mean, there was a couple other faces. I was like, oh shit, people are showing up to that because it's special. It's real. It's a real conversation between three or more really amazing musicians, truly amazing musicians. So presence. If you're having a conversation, just speaking to somebody in that conversation, if you're not making eye contact, if you're kind of giving short, sort of general, borderline cliche answers to questions or explanations or whatever, or you're even like when somebody throws you a line to almost like a fishing line to hook onto to go down a road of conversation that can be more deep, in terms of like maybe emotional intelligence or even just philosophy, if you just avoid that and deflect like that's not being present in the conversation. You know what I mean? So therefore, I don't want to talk to you. Then why are we talking then? If you're just gonna, why? What are you about? You know what I mean? Now, if you're on stage, right? Think about that now. On stage among musicians, obviously we have our roles, but we can play with a certain energy, and we could be play with a certain finesse. Maybe is a word, I guess, to inspire each other, to keep each other excited about what we're doing. And not to say that we're bored. It's not to say that it's easily to be bored. But sometimes you'll be playing, like, especially cover gigs, playing songs you've played hundreds of times, listened to and heard hundreds of times. That's why I don't do covers anymore. I just got tired. I really got tired of it. It became monotonous. It was like having the same conversation over and over and over and over again for years. And there wasn't a lot of room to change the conversation that much without stepping outside of my role, right? So, and that's not to say I hadn't stepped out of the brought a little bit of authenticity to the conversation before. It started that way. So, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I can't tell you how many EDM songs we played weddings, like Paul and I especially, actually, where, a lot of these beats. Right. So many songs, right? Some of them I liked. Some of them I couldn't stand. Especially after like the 10th time of playing it. But if you heard how I just played that, right? That's I could have just done this, and a lot of drummers do this on right, just like a basic bitch 4-on-the-floor drum beat. It's boring as fuck. There's nothing interesting about that. And even the way that you, it's weird. It's like there's a weird thing about playing with a certain energy. There's like these, I can't even explain it. There are these like nuance to how you're hitting, how you're hitting the drums, and then if you're moving while playing, sort of almost like dancing, but like with upper body movement to kind of, because you want the beat to feel what you're feeling, what you're hearing in your head, right? So, right? It's like if I'm moving to that, that's why I hear I'm internally. If I can translate that to the drum kit, that's all I care about, because that's what's going to keep people dancing. That's going to keep the energy up in the room. And it should be all positive energy, right? Just you're helping people have a good time. So these drummers would play basic beats like that, but it wouldn't even feel like how I just described. It would feel like a rock drummer, just like right, just like basic. So that tells me you don't care about the part, the song, the style of the song too, and so you don't care about your role. I mean, that's harsh to say, right? Because a lot of drummers maybe don't, and this is where I mean about going deep into the wormhole to really get to the truth, which is, and this is why I use conversation as a way to explain this, is that what these drummers do is they learn just the pattern or the bare minimum, and okay, fine, this will work. And that is a horrible choice to make, because now what you just did was, you as a drummer, you just you made yourself blend in. You did not decipher. I'm sorry, not decipher. You didn't differentiate yourself from other drummers. You know what I mean? Not that even that's the most important thing, but I do think that getting to the root groove, energy of the song is the right thing to do. And if you have to do a lot of work to craft these parts, that way, sure, do it. It's worth it. It absolutely is worth it. Because it's part of that conversation. So I would have those conversations on stage with my band, with the cover group, the wedding group. And over a while, after a while, it just got a little stale. I was having actually physical issues playing for 4 hours, 4 hours at a time. It got really tiring. It got painful, actually, physically painful to get through that every night. So, I wound up quitting. There was no passion behind it after 4 or 5 years. So I quit, and I don't regret it, but I quit and left a lot of money behind because I just was not properly being part of that conversation. I wasn't present. That's such an important thing. Now, I'm talking about like music this is cover music, so it already exists. The creativity is limited. The idea has already been created, right? And you're just having to sort of replicate it, reproduce it, and so, because people know it. Now, let's talk about music that's original and maybe more in the moment, has in the moment creativity. So like improvised music, right? That is true conversation, dude. I love, and I've done it before, right? Plenty of times. And I've been doing it probably almost a decade, but no joke, it's one of my favorite things to do. Go on stage, maybe as a trio or something, or a duo, quartet, whatever. I'm on drums, somebody's on bass, or guitar, or keys, whatever. And I'm with musicians that I trust. I trust their skills, but I also trust their decision making during a musical conversation, and we improvise music the entire time. And a lot of times it's just instrumental. Sometimes we've had vocal improvisation too. With vocalists like singing and rhyming and rapping, spitting, freestyling. It's one of my favorite things to do because you're having an authentic musical conversation, and when you do that in front of a crowd who's not used to seeing that, they're wide-eyed. They're like jaw drops. They're like, what? Especially when it feels good too. Like when you can move to the music, and it creates an energy in the room that everybody wants to jump onto because it's intoxicating. That is special. That's what I like. You can't not be present though to pull that off. You have to be present. You have to understand that language of music. It's a weird thing to say, but vague thing. But that language of rhythm and feel, I talked a lot about, I use this word trends. You have to pick up on trends, of stylistic trends in certain genres of music. Just to keep your references in your pocket, to sort of, I'm going to use a grotesque term, whip out on stage while you're playing with some other musicians, and it can inspire the direction of what you're of the conversation, right? So I probably should have picked a different topic, because this topic, I feel like I should have another musician with me. So this was kind of dumb, but hey, I'm present. You know what I mean? Speaking my mind. You could turn it off right now if you want, I guess. I could play a little bit of stuff because I have my drum set in front of me. Duh. I could play some beats, things that I've been messing around with. Let's see. I love like the J Dilla hip hop, drunken hip hop beats a lot. I really dig that stuff. So here's kind of an example of that. So a regular hip hop beat. So it's just a regular swung hip hop beat, right? The thing what J Dilla used to do is use this sample, but I guess, I don't know, he manipulated the beat to feel a little loose and sluggish, but still have a thick, arguably thicker pocket and feel. So instead of, it would be something more like this. It kind of has this like swagger to it. Kind of slushy, kind of drunk. I think I like that. I love that drunken hip hop groove. When I saw that, I was like, that's exactly what it is. I think Questlove does stuff like that. So yeah, so I love shit like that. Now it's a very popular thing to have a fat ass snare drum next to you. So you could do that. Just to have a different like feel. I mean, that has like a very like, it's kind of what that, I guess what that is if you hear a beat that's, if you were to turn a filter on that and lower the pitch, you would have, you know what I mean? You would have like that, as opposed to, right? So that's kind of what that is, I guess. I got that from like people like Jojo Mayer, Chris Dave, very creative people. So I've been digging stuff like that lately. I always dig like anything that's that exists as an electronic vibe or beat, when I like recreating those. So now a hand clap, believe it or not, hand clap, I've been trying to replicate hand claps for like 10 years. It's one of my favorite things to pursue. And when I find a new one, I get very excited and want to do it all the time. So here's an example of that. Like when you hear, all right, that's just me actually clapping. The sound a lot of times is like multiple people clapping, right? So it sounds like, that sounded terrible. I can't really do the sound, but imagine a whole bunch of people bringing their hands together, like for one clap, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then imagine that sound. That's the sound that's on a lot of songs, a lot of electronic songs. So I've been searching for that. Now, you could do cross stick, which is what I was doing before, right? But you do like 2 sticks hitting at the same time. Here's another one. Similar. You know? Another one is, I stole this one from Jojo Mayer. I'm sorry I used the word steal, but I mean, I can't really call it anything other than what it is. I'm being real. I kind of took the idea from him. Guy's a genius. Here, give me a second. I just have to move something. Okay, so Jojo Mayer does this thing. It's like a slice. He slices he's in cross stick, and he, instead of coming straight down on the cross stick, he comes from the tom, the rack tom in front of him, and he slices that edge of that rim and then lands on the snare. Sounds like this. Oh, I hate that ring in that tom. Though, give me a second. All right, let's try it now. There it is. So, instead of I would have to use 2 hands to get this sound, what I did before. Right? Now, anytime a drummer could get multiple sounds with 1 hand, or even a percussionist, that is like, and by the way, without hitting an electronic trigger pad. No, thank you. Get out of here. I hate those things. I'm sorry, I'm a hater. I do not like those things. I want to hit an instrument. I'm a percussionist at heart. So those things, nah, I don't like them. I think they're sort of cheating in a little bit. I said it, cheating. It's okay. It's fine. I'm not judging anybody else who does it. I don't want me doing it. If you do it, you do it. Whatever. No big deal. Whatever. I don't care. If it fills the purpose, great. Anyway, back to this sound. So yeah, so I can do this sound with 1 hand. So right, sounds kind of just like almost like a hand clap. It fills the role basically. So yeah, so I've been doing that for years. There's this company out there called oh no, I just forgot the name of the company, and I have 2 of their products. I found it on like Amazon. It's called like Rim Riser. That's what it's called. It's like imagine like a little piece, a little wedge of a rim of a drum cut, and you put it. You're supposed to basically put it on top of your existing rim, and then it screws in like a lug, basically, and then sits there. I guess the original idea was that you had it like raised the height of the rim and made it easier to play, well, blah, 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 blah. Cool idea. I mean, don't get me wrong. But I was like, I want to scrape off of it and see if it sounds like the clap that I have, like here, right? And it does it. It does it very well, actually. And you know what I should do? I should go across the room and get one of my snare drums that has the thing on it to show you, because I'm talking about it. But I'm too lazy. I'm just way too lazy to do that. So take my word for it, Rim Riser. I probably have a video on my Instagram, Anthony Freedom Music, at Anthony Freedom Music, sorry. No, you idiot. It's at BaDumBizz on Instagram and Twitter. This fucking guy. That is my Instagram. You can find a video where I'm doing that slice thing with the Rim Riser thing. I like to tag them in it because I love the product. But yeah, so that was another product that I used to accomplish that clap sound, and it would just live on my snare. So when I would be at a gig and I bring my snare, I have a clap sound right ready for me, one-handed clap sound. Well, now this product came out. It's Istanbul Cymbals, AGOP, and they came out with this thing called a clap stack. It came out last year, and this is what I've wanted for like 10 years. I'm going to play it. I mean, incredible. It probably sounds like I'm hitting a sample. I'm not. This is 3 warped, bent cymbals of different sizes stacked on top of each other. And it's just incredible how they engineered this. So, like, amazing, right? I love it. So so I'll use it a lot, and I still don't get me wrong, I still love using this sound with the rim because now it's just different. It's just like a different. There are different types of clap samples, so it's just good to have all different types of ways of doing it. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll just like. So like I was playing this fat snare before. So I'll use that clap stack as like a layer, like a producer would, right? We need a little bit more bite on that 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3. So I'll do this 1. Right now, I'll going back to that Jay Dilla stuff, where it's you can do a little bit of that to the beat. Lag it a little bit behind. And then you can also flam. So meaning like if I'm going to hit, instead of hitting both of them at the snare and the clap stack at once, like at the same time, right? I'll hit the clap stack maybe either a little late or a little early. I think it sounds better later and kind of flam. So kind of works. You could even do this. By the way, when I'm doing this kind of like flammy thing, you can do this with the hi-hat, and it's incredibly effective. So here's like a soft cross stick beat, like, right? To me, this is cool. Don't get me wrong, but I'm bored, a little bit. So I would go like this. I would accent the hi-hat. So much better. So much better. Adds just a nice, can't explain it to you, energy to it. A little bite on 2 and 4. It sounds like a production rather than just somebody just playing a generic beat. You know what I mean? It's special. It sounds special. And you could do the opposite. You could do like the hi-hat was late, so I could do. Yeah, there are so many of these. You should check out Brody Simpson. I mentioned him last podcast. Brody Simpson on Instagram. Check out his videos. He is incredible with doing stuff like that, with flams and kind of glitchy beats, I guess you can call it. Yeah, he'll do things like... So there's like this little flammy, like, I don't even know what to call it, extra note snare on the extra snare notes. And it kind of felt like the beat was kind of being almost like a delayed thing. Like it was boom, ka, 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 ka. You know what I mean? Like thing. It's just very cool. It's just very cool. It's a very cool time to be a drummer, basically. So yeah, keep having conversations out there, please. Have a conversation on stage. That is the most important thing among your instrumentalists, basically. Have a conversation, man. Like, even if it's a song you don't like, try to make it interesting by bringing up something to make the conversation more interesting, more entertaining. You know what I mean? If you have to get into the practice room and work on crafting something, do it. It's worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it. If you have an idea in your head, here's another thing. This helps conversations. If you have a groove idea, not a lick, sorry, I don't care about it. Honestly, if you pulled that out on a gig, like if you're playing, I'll be honest with you, just pack up your stuff at that point and go home, because you're not on the right gig. You don't understand. Like, that shit doesn't matter. I, I'm sorry, man. And maybe this is an unpopular decision. Opinion. I don't care though. I'm just being real. It doesn't matter, that stuff, all that lick stuff, because there's so many different versions of it. Whether you're doing a patty fla fla or a paradiddle diddle, it doesn't fucking matter, man. It really doesn't. What matters is what you're communicating, and the groove is the most universal communication. You know, you want people. Again, I think I said this the last time. You don't want people to hear your music or hear you play and go, do I like this? Right? They didn't say yes or no. That still's bad, because the reaction should just be, it shouldn't even be, oh, I like this. It shouldn't even be a thought. It should be immediate, intoxicating need for movement to what you're playing. Like, oh, damn, oh, shit, and they're dancing. That's it. That's what it needs, or not in their head, rocking their head up and down. That's the most important thing, right? So playing those licks, it doesn't matter. Just go home. Work on your groove, please. All right? That will inspire the conversation way more than your stupid lick that you've been working on. Your fucking 6-stroke rolls with the thing on the thing and double kick thing, and it just doesn't matter, right? I think I saw a video somebody posted, and poor guy got, like, I say poor guy because the internet was just like laughing at him. But, you know, it was kind of like you invited yourself to especially if you knew the camera was on you. He was basically playing he was playing in a band, and there was a female lead singer with a great voice, and it was borderline R&B stuff, like very kind of like sensual type of music. But that wasn't what he was playing. He was playing stuff like this. It started like, back into the beat. Like, it was mostly that. I'm not kidding. So the joke was like, dude, you need to be fired. What he was playing, if you were to extract it out of that situation, put him in a fucking room by himself, sure, it was cool. And yes, he's good at it. But dude, how are you so unaware of you are shitting over something beautiful? And you need to go. Kick your ass to the curb. Yeah, that just cannot happen, dude. And how do you, goddamn, how do people wind up there? You know? And you know what I noticed, by the way? You know what I notice about musicians? Look, a lot of musicians that I've worked with are kind of pussies in terms of, like, that guy needs to go. Like, you either got to go, dude, you got to stop doing that. You can't play like that. That is not good playing. And if he goes, oh, but you're not a drummer, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, I'm not a drummer, but that's not music what you're doing. You're not being musical, right? But, like, I feel like the being very decisive of, like, you're out. Goodbye, you're done. Goodbye. Kick him out. Get somebody else. Like, these things go on for months and months, maybe even years, and they just never make the decision to get rid of this dude. And then your music suffers, right? And the thing all crumbles. Just because of a lack of just decisive, no, I don't want this in my band. I don't want to make music this way. I'm sorry, you're good. Yes, you're good. You're a good drummer, like in that regard. But you're not a good drummer at all in this band if you're doing shit like that. So we're getting rid of you. So this happens. I've seen this happen. You know, you'll be at a show and a drummer will be on stage playing, you know, kind of not that, man, my God, not that bad. Like, but just too many, like, just fills and licks that are just, they don't belong in the song, right? So anyway, I guess just learn how to have the conversation. Listen to other existing conversations from professionals. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. It is absolutely, there's no excuse anymore to not understand, to not have an understanding. you could research this shit, and you don't have to go digging in a library of records and CDs somewhere. You could fucking touch your phone and you have some shit. You could speak to Siri, the robot, or fucking Alexa, which they are not allowed in my home at all. No. I could do shit myself. But anyway, if you are a lazy shit and you ask Alexa and Siri to do shit for you, by all means, please, even more of a point, go research this shit, drummers, bass players too, guitarists. Go fucking research how to be a proper rhythm guitarist. My God, dude. Learn how to serve the music. Don't just try to, again, like, play lead lines that cover over something. Like, I see that a lot too with guitarists. Yeah, learn how to have the proper conversation. Oof. Got a little heated there. Man, that was a few months ago. I still agree with some of those points, but man, I really went in there, huh? But that's what you get. That's what I feel like doing, and that's what you get. Don't have to listen to it if you don't want to, but please do. Please, like, comment, send me an email, comment on my Instagram at BaDumBizz, on Twitter and Instagram. Leave comments of things you like. Definitely leave comments of things you don't like. Please do it. I don't care. It's information for me. I hope you are enjoying it. And I hope you are burning with rage. So on that note, I decided to play you out some drums. Enjoy. Play you out.